Since the Saint Laurent 9-pan palette is about to launch at multiple retailers, I thought this would be a great time to talk about the best of Saint Laurent beauty. So today I have on a full face of Saint Laurent, and I like doing these full face best of brand videos because it really does help me identify the favorites in my collection, but it also helps me identify gaps in my collection. Believe it or not, I do have gaps. I do have areas where I don't have a particular product. And for example, with Saint Laurent, the things I do not have, I don't seem to have any of their eyeliners or any of their lip liners, which doesn't make any sense to me because I know I have tried Saint Laurent eyeliners. I mean, I absolutely know, and I can actually think of the particular colors that I have tried. So I don't know if I lost them or if I somehow decluttered them and didn't mean to because I really like the Saint Laurent liners. So yeah, so I know what I will be buying during the Sephora sale because apparently I don't have them anymore. So I wanted to start with that by saying the Saint Laurent eyeliners are great. I like the Saint Laurent eyeliners, and I will be picking some up at the Sephora sale, and I will mention it when I do my Sephora video. The focus today of the video is this 9-pan. This is the Couture Eye Clutch, and it's basically a fashion accessory, this clutch. But what I wanted to do, I have talked about the clutch before, I wanted to compare it to all the other clutches that I have. And I have quite a few, it turns out. So I have 024 all the way till 910. Yes, there's a lot. So I'm gonna show you as the images go up, 024 and 025. You can see that these have similarities, and I'm gonna have the 9-pan go over here. Similarities in shade to the 9-pan. Then we have 100 and we have 125. The 100 is Store Dolls, and that's my favorite of all the Saint Laurent quads. And yes, there's some huge similarities. Not so much with 125. 125 is more of a pink quad. Then we have 200 and we have 300. I would say 200, there are two shades, maybe three. And then in 300, the brown and that gold topper, but the cream in there, I really like the cream in 300. There's no cream like that in this one. I mean, it's like a really opaque cream, which I really like. This is 400 and 600. I don't think they're really, maybe the topper and 600, but really these two are very different from the 9-pan. And then you have 700 and 710. I think 710, yes, there's similarities, but it's a more impactful, it's like a more opaque formula. And then we have the 800s. This 800 here at the top, yes, absolutely, that's over Doré. That one, I think there is similarities, although that one's more golden than the 9-pan, but there's similarities in color. And then we have the other 800s, we have 825 and 830, which I think are very, very different. The 830 is the green palette. And then in the 900s, we have 900 and 910, which are both, again, very, very different, although I think the 910 does have that gold topper. So if you look at all of these palettes and then you look at the 9-pan, you can see that there's a lot of similarity. There's a lot of overlap. And if you have as many as I do of the 4-pans, you basically have this new 9-pan palette. But they are different shades. They are not exactly the same. I used 5 different shades on my eyes today when I'm using the 9-pan. I think it's a beautiful look, and they are the deeper shades in the palette. I use this as liner because can't find any of their liners. I used this on the outer corner of the eye, this on the crease of the eye, this all over the eye, and this on the inner corner. So those 5 shades. And I think Nude Hours is, as I've said, a beautiful 9-pan, but if you have all the others, it's not that different. However, if you have the quads and you only have the ones that don't have the neutral shades in them, if you have like the 900 and 910, or if you have the green one, or whatever, then you don't really have this. So that's a question of what you have in your collection. As it relates to formula, I was trying to look to see if I could discern a real difference in the ingredients on the backs. So it looks to me that there's only one shade in this that doesn't have talc. In the quads, many of the shades do contain talc as well. Not all of them, but many of them. So the formula in these is going to be different than a lot of the brands that you see nowadays on the market because they've taken out talc. This one did not. There's talc, like I said, in every shade except for one. And I'm gonna bet it's the really topperish shade that just is very sparkly. They feel extremely comfortable on my eyes, my dry eyes, and they're not, I don't find it irritating. I have no problems with them. I also feel like the sparkle doesn't go everywhere. It doesn't just fly everywhere, but you do get fallout from the sparkly shades. There is mica in practically all of these. There is synthetic fluorogopite in almost all of the shades as well. There is carmine in some of the shades. There is coffee seed oil. There is kaolin clay in some of them. There's sweet almond oil. So there's a lot of ingredients in here that there's cornstarch that would, I think, make these comfortable for the eye, the oils in here, but also because of the talc, I think it's gonna stay longer and be creamier, like feel creamier on the eyes. If you have a problem with talc, obviously do not buy this 9-pan palette because almost all the shades in here have talc. If you're allergic to almond oil, another concern, or coffee seed oil, which I think is interesting. There's also pine oil in some of these, and not all of them. So again, there's a mix depending on the shades. I would say this, I am glad that I own this palette. And if I did not own as many quads as I have, and I hadn't already bought it, I would be picking it up today. I think when this video goes live for most people, it'll be at Nordstrom and at Sephora. So yes, I would buy it. I also would tell you that those of you who are waiting to see if it's part of the Sephora sale that starts on the 10th for Rouge members, this is only a guess. You can never truly tell, but I think it will be gone by then. When I mentioned it being at Macy's, it sold out. I mean, it was that day and it was a couple of hours. So I think it will sell out. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it's available for the sale for everyone who wants to buy it on sale, but I'm not betting on it. So that's my advice. But I would also say if you have all the quads, you have this anyway. Whether or not the 5 extra shades in here justify the $16 price jump, I think the formula is basically the same. I mean, I don't really notice a difference. Some people mentioned to me that maybe the sparkly shades weren't as crumbly as the ones in the other quads, but there's only 2 sparkly shades in here. They're just these 2, which I put on my eyes today. And they felt very similar to the ones that are in all the quads that I have. So I didn't really notice a particular difference. The quads, which are $69, and this is $85, unless the price is going to go up. I don't know, but it was $85. You're paying for, you know, a particular mood, a particular curation in each, because each one has either the blue or the green or the brown or the, you know, Storadol's is cool tones, Overbrune is like a deep warmth. Like it's, like I said, it's more opaque. It's kind of like it's deciding for you, this is your color story. This one you have more options, and not everybody necessarily wants more options. For $16 more, you get 5 additional shades. So if you're talking about price per gram, this is a significantly better value. You get 5 shades for $16. And if you want a best of neutral library, instead of just one single look, then this one. They both have the oil enriched formula. It's good for, I think, for dry skin. They have a lot of mattes in here. So you have a lot of transition shades, which is great. I mean, I would say this is more like a workhorse palette than a party palette because, like I said, there's less glitter, there's more matte and satin. Kind of a greatest hits of like 100, 710, and 800. So for foundation, I used to have a actual foundation. I had the Le Tint Touche, which is a medium buildable coverage and is better for dry skin because it's a radiant glow. I cannot find it. So obviously it went bad and I threw it out, which happens. So I can't talk about that, but I do have on the new Bare Look tint, which I really like. I think this is a great formula. It's dewy, it's light to medium, it's great for dry skin. It's mostly like skincare and hyaluronic acid, and I think it wears really well on me. I like it. It's a good wear. I don't think I have the right shade. I actually think I need to get 01, so I'm gonna do that during the Sephora sale. But yes, I think this is a great product. I really like this. I think it's great for people who are looking for that no makeup look, and it's good for dry skin. So that's what I use today. And then bronzer and highlighter. So I have this in 02, and I have the Hyper Luminize in 01. 02 is a good shade for me. It's relatively light. The 01 in this is a very sparkly shade. I don't love this highlighter. I actually prefer this highlighter, which is of the NU line, NU. And it's a cream highlighter, and this one is very, very subtle. But I really like these. I think these are great. This one is in New Rosy Quartz, and I really, really like this. But the powder, I feel it's just too much for me. Like, I think it's just too sparkly for me. Yeah, I don't like it as much as I like the New Rosy. I think it's more subtle. Which is interesting because I like the Kosas Opaline that I was wearing in the video that I did. I don't remember when it was, a week or two ago, which is definitely more pronounced, but there's something about that formula that I think looks really good. This one I just think is too much, but you might be somebody who wants that, and you're going to definitely get that with this. But the new line, the NU line, is definitely more of that like no makeup look, and I really like tinted moisturizer, skin tint, and the highlighter. I like them both. The bronzers I have in 2 and 4. I think I decluttered the 4. The 2 is great for me. It's a good bronzer. It is warmer though. That's the thing. Like, this is not a bronze tour. It's not like a good contour for me, but it's a good bronzer for me because it's warm enough to look like a bronzer, but it's not orange on me at all. It looks actually quite nice. I'm going to do the blushes last. The mascara is one of my favorite mascaras, actually. I love this mascara. This is Lash Clash from Saint Laurent. I have this in black. I love the Lash Clash. I think it's a great mascara. I mean, it's a thick wand. It's not for somebody who wants something subtle. And if you have like really thin lashes or very, very short lashes, I don't know how this would work on you because the brush, you know, it's so big and so thick that I wonder if it would just like smudge all over the place. Like, you have to have a lot of lash for it to like glam onto, I think. But I do love the Lash Clash. Love it, love it, love it. I need to try it in more shades. I have the brown, but they've done a blue, and I feel like they had another shade at some point. But anyway, love the Lash Clash. It's a great formula. The lips. I have on at the moment, this is their gloss, and I have it in 06 and 01. Yeah, 06 and 01. I've talked about these before. They look really good on, okay? They are definitely plumping, and they look great. But the smell of those, there's something about the smell of their glosses that really, I can't say I get physically ill, but it's not good. It's, I don't like the smell at all. Like, it's bad. But they make your lips really look great. And then the lip balms. There are numerous types of lip balms from Saint Laurent. I call them balms, but they're not all balms. Saint Laurent changed, and I wrote down some notes. That's what I'm trying to grab up here. They're called Love Shines now. They used to be like different. Now they just put it under Love Shines. And so there's the Love Shine Candy Glaze, which has a high shine, high pigment. There's a Love Shine Candy Glow, which is the Butter Balm, but it's thinner and more nourishing. And then there's the Love Shine Oil Stick, which is the classic high shine lipstick formula in the silver tube. So they're all Love Shines. The type of formula that you like, really, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for, but they're all good. This was a special edition Love Shine lipstick, and this is one of my favorites. Now I'm putting it on over the gloss that I had on before, and that gloss, like, it is glossy. It's not like gloss from any other type of gloss. I hate these little teeny hairs. I hate them. They drive me crazy. If I could just cut them off, I would. Gloss is super glossy, and anything you put on after it, you're gonna have to wait a long time for that stuff to sink in, because it doesn't really sink in. It's kind of like Vaseline. So it just stays, which also makes it very, very glossy and great for people who want that. But like when you put something over it, you still get the gloss, and you can still taste the gloss. Again, the gloss works really well. I don't like the smell or the taste of it. Last but not least, the blushes. So I have swatched all the blushes for you. Now these are all the blushes that I own. So I don't have all of them. There's 6, 12, 23, 24, 37, 42, 44, 57, 69, and 87. I love the Saint Laurent blushes. I think they're phenomenally good. I think that the way that Saint Laurent did their blushes, I think there's a shade in here for everyone. And I think that there's an intensity for everyone. Even 69, which kind of looks white on my arm, works as a really nice highlighter on my face. And if you're extremely pale, I guess you could use it as a blush, but I think you'd have to be, I mean, you can see like my face is actually a little deeper than my neck, and it's because it's gotten more sun and I have rosacea. But you'd have to, I mean, you're gonna have to be really, really, really pale for that 69 to show up as blush. I use it as a highlighter. It's a opalescent pinkish kind of undertone to that white. There are new shades that are available that I have not picked up yet, and I believe they will be included in the Sephora sale. There was also a shade that I was gonna buy that's at Nordstrom, and I did not see it at Sephora. I'll make sure that information is down below on screen. I didn't pick it up because the people who do have it, I talked to you guys out there, you said it's very much like the 69 that has more of just like a topper shade, more of a highlighter. And I was like, I don't really need that. So if there are particular shades you want me to pick up and compare to these, let me know, because I have like practically all of them, and maybe it would be interesting for you to see in comparison. I do plan to pick up at least one of the new shades at the Sephora sale. My favorite one of all of these is number 44. That has shimmer to it, and I have it on today. I really like that shade. I think it's beautiful. It's one of my favorites. 23 though is the one I wear most often because it is actually, it has some luminescence to it, but it's kind of like a neutral. And so that's the one I wear most often. But 44 is my favorite. It's a little too deep for me too, so I have to be very careful with it. All these shades are pretty much too deep for me, except for 42 and of course 69, which is, 6 is not too deep for me, and 24. But I love the intensity. I love the formula. I love the way they sink in. They look really good on my skin. They don't accentuate texture. They are not drying, all those good things. So at the end of the day, when asked, what are your favorites from Saint Laurent, I like pretty much everything they have. My favorites of the favorites are the blushes, which I think are just the best. I love, love, love the blushes. This particular highlighter, I love the cream highlighters in the new formula, and I love the eyeshadows, all of them. I don't think this 9 pan is really a different formula. I don't get that from it. I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but to me it seems the same. But I do think that the shades are slightly different, and I've shown you all. You can go back and, freeze frame or take a screenshot to see which ones you have versus like what the new 9 pan is, and if you want to pick it up. But I do think it's a great luxury wardrobe, neutral wardrobe. And if that's something that you would like, I think it's worth picking up. And I don't really think it's going to be available for the sale. I mean, I hope it is, but I don't think so. And so if I were going to pick up anything from Saint Laurent at this point, and if I didn't have like all the rest of it, I'd pick up the 9 pan. I'd pick up the blush in 23 or 44. I'd pick up the mascara, the Lash Clash, because I think it's phenomenally good. And then I would pick up these. I think the new line is really good for those of you out there that likes that no makeup look. The bronzer's good, the highlighter's good. They're not my favorites though. They're not, and their lip products, again, are great. I like them, but they're not my favorites. So that's kind of where I'm at with Saint Laurent. I need to go find out what happened to my eyeliners and then purchase a bunch of different ones at the Sephora sale so I can give you all an update, because I know they're good. I know I've tried them. I just can't verify that because I don't seem to have them right now, which is very odd. So anyway, I can't wait to hear if you're planning to pick up the 9 pan or if you've already picked it up, and I'll make sure all the links are below or on the screen. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in another video really soon.